Hey there and welcome to the Mad Creations kitchen. Today I am going to be making the fudge from my newest ebook, the MADXM, Mad Christmas. So I have printed the ebook, as you can see, in an easy spiral bound display book with a nice little soft cover or plastic cover and a black back. So it just makes it nice and handy because when I'm in the kitchen I can open it up and it can sit completely flat and I can follow the recipes. So today we are going to be making the fudge and I'll show you how to get that nice little white top. I'm going to do it in the Thermomix because it's simple and easy and hopefully everything will work out okay. I'm doing it pretty basic and I'm doing it with what I have in the kitchen today. So for chocolate, I have some leftover Vitaworks and I have some leftover no shoe melt ones, which is the ones I think that don't have any maltitol in them. So hopefully it'll work because I haven't tried this chocolate in there, but hey, no harm in trying because it's only me wasting the ingredients, right? So I'm just going to pop in my chocolate. Now, I know a lot of Thermi guys will be saying like, oh my God, you can chop the chocolate in the Thermi. Well, I have a dog who runs sorry, I just thought I had something on me. I have a dog that runs like a kilometre, like around the house every time I turn that Thermi on to chop things like chocolate or Parmesan. So I just don't do it anymore. So I'm just going to pop it all in here. Hopefully I've got roughly around about 250 grams here. So you can use any chocolate that you like. If you're, eat sugar, you can use full sugar chocolate. You can use dark chocolate, milk chocolate, white chocolate, vegan chocolate. The only thing is like if you are using different ones, like I said today I'm using the no shoe, so hopefully it'll work. But they are melts, so it should work. Check to see that the chocolate is okay for melting because some of them don't melt as well or melt as long. So if you are going to use a brand that you're not sure of, that I'm not using, then test out a little bit first and just see how it melts. I'm always on the safe side because like I've even got a bowl here that I'm looking at of seized chocolate that when I was testing a recipe, I kept seizing it because I was heating the cream and the chocolate together, just trying to be quick and easy. But we all know you should just melt the cream, throw in the chocolate and then stir it after 5 minutes after it's melted. But anyway, Megan was just trying to make everything as simple as possible. So I ended up with 253 grams of chocolate, so that's pretty good. Okay. I'm using coconut butter today. You can use regular butter. Now, my tip when you're using coconut butter is there's always a big, well, not always, but in mine, I'm using the cell squared ones. There's always a big thick layer of coconut oil on the top. Make sure that you go past that and get some of the coconut butter on the bottom. Now I'm just going to try and show you. I've got the camera in nice and close today. So let's just swap that around. You can see probably now in my spoon here that some is yellow and some is white. So the yellow bit is like the coconut, the young coconut meat, the butter, and the other bit is where the oil has separated. So you want a bit of both, okay? So I'm just going to chuck mine in here. Fingers crossed I remember the weight. I'm not giving you the recipe. You've got to get the ebook for this one. But hey, if you're looking in the screen, you can probably work it out. Okay, so that is all we have to do in this part of the recipe so far. And we want to melt it. So if you're doing this traditional methods, you're just doing it over a double boiler, so in a bowl over some simmering water. Let me have a look in my lovely book here and just check. So all the recipes in this ebook have both the conventional and thermal cooking methods. So if you have a Thermomix or Magimix or Bellini, Intelli, all the different brands, you can use it. I'm doing this today via video because I can pause and come back. And when we come back, we're going to do the next step and add to this chocolate. You can hear it's a little bit noisy now, but trust me, if you don't have a Thermomix or a thermal cooker that's like this where you chop and heat, when you put in chocolate and you turn it up to speed 10 and chop it, it makes so much noise. So anyway, we'll come back shortly when that's all melted and do the next step and get this fudge into its moulds. I'll see you soon. Okay, so our fudge has now melted. And what we're going to do is we're going to add some nut butter. So I add a smooth one. You can add a crunchy one if you want, but it gives, this recipe is really super smooth fudge. It's just so good when it doesn't have crunchy bits in it. And I love crunchy peanut butter. It was funny because when I was making this, I had to go and buy a lot of it because I kept going through different ones. This is one from a local supermarket at Woolies. It's Fix and Fog smooth peanut butter, but you can use things like 99th Monkey. They have a range of different butters, nut butters like this one's pistachio and almond. You can use Noya brands. Maver's is delicious peanut butter. Or if you can't have nuts, you can change that to a seed butter, okay? Okay, so now I just need a spoon and we're gonna add that in to our mixture and then just mix it. I think we might end up with a mix anyway. Here you go. I like using your fingers. Okay. I'm not feeding anyone else this, just Dave and I, so my fingers are fine. There we go. That'll do the trick. Just move that out of the way, move our 99th Monkey, and I'm just going to give that a quick mix at 10 seconds speed through. Now I'm pouring this into a mould. So I've got this little bar mould that Linda Waters gave me. It came from House, but it's discontinued now. Sorry, it came from Chef's Toolbox, but they've stopped trading now. But there's lots of similar ones. You can use a mould or you can just use a baking tray. With a baking tray, line it with cling wrap or baking paper, parchment paper, and then just pour it in, and then you can slice it once it's set, okay? So this could also be done in a long loaf tin and sliced into nice little slices as well. So you can see it's beautiful, smooth fudge at the moment. So I'm just going to pour it into a jug. So it's easy just to quickly pour into the mould. Now it's funny because one of the things I'm going to do a video for at some point over the coming weeks, because I'm planning on doing more videos and lives so everybody can just see some different recipes easily done, is one of the recipes we do a lot of here is my sugar-free gummies. So I make them sour and I use electrolytes and stuff like that in them. But if you've ever made gummies, I know a lot of people do this and they use like jelly baby molds or whatever, or little molds, and they do it with eyedroppers and stuff. For me, I have zero patience for that. I am so far from being a fussy cook that just does my head in. So I use things like these molds, and then you can just slice them into little bite-sized ones if you want, like if you don't trust yourself with a whole bar, but like, I mean, most of them have got bugger all stuff in them. So, you know, you can just have it whole or slice it up to you. I do them in like the little mini muffin silicone ones as well, or flat ones, or, you know, you could even do it in a whole like baking tray like I just said for this, and then just cut it into thin strips, which is an easy way too, rather than doing, you know, worm molds and stuff. Or if you're going to use those molds, just pour and you use the spatula and you just like spread it into all of the molds and scrape off all the excess into a tray and then pour it back into your jug. Like I said, I am probably the queen of I really can't give an F of doing things. So I make things really, really simple for myself. So I'm pouring these into the molds now. Would I eat a whole one of these? No, we just cut these up as well. And what I'm doing is I'm not filling it all the way to the top, not even near. But you'll see in my picture, it has a little bit of a white top on some of them. That is because I've topped it with a little bit of melted white chocolate. So you can do that as well. You can melt it the same with the coconut butter or butter if you wish. Just scraping out the last of this chocky. And then we're going to set this for an hour. Then I will come back. I will do the topping so you can see a bit of the topping on some of them. The little squiggle that I did was just with a little bit of special food colouring that I have. I get the Colour Mill food colours, and I think I added a little bit of like a gold sprinkle in there as well, so it'll look pretty. That's completely up to you. So that is how easy this fudge really is. And like I said, if you're not doing it in a thermi, you're just doing it in a bowl suspended over simmering water. It's very, very simple. This I will now put onto a tray. I'll set it in my fridge because it won't fit in my freezer because my freezer is overloaded. But I'll come back and I'll show you how to finish it off. I'm going to show you just our little gingerbread mix. So in here I've made up the spice. It's got a bit of a half a nutmeg in it. That's not supposed to be there. It's just me like being lazy and not putting it away. So I have created the gingerbread spice that is in the recipe in the book. And what we do is we're just going to create like a cinnamon sugar, but it's going to be like a gingerbread sugar. I'm using the natural allulose sweetener. It's not powdered sweetener, but it's a fine one. I'd say it's even finer than regular caster sugar. So you can kind of see it. You can see that. Probably not so well. It's kind of like I'd say it's like almost close to a powdered sweetener, okay? So you can just add as much or as little as you want, or you don't even have to do this. You could add a little bit of that gingerbread spice into the chocolate if you wanted to. But I'm basically just making my little gingerbread sugar. And that's an S-H-U-G-G-A, if you see it in the book. So yeah, that's just a little bit of gingerbread sugar. And that is ready to be sprinkled over the top when I put some white chocolate on it. But you can also roll the fudge in it, and it just adds a little extra layer of deliciousness to it. But it's really that easy, and you can just make that as, like I said, as sweet or as strong as you want. If you don't put any sweetener in it, of course it's just spice. So if you've ever had cinnamon toast where you just put cinnamon straight onto the toast, back in the day, it's not quite as nice as when you had it with a bit of sugar. So adding a little bit of sweetener is a good way to do it. If you don't have the allulose, which I know a lot of people don't in Australia because it is something that we have to get in from iHerb or from overseas because it's just not on the AFNZ approved list of foods yet. I would recommend Sucrin's powdered erythritol. For me, it has little to no cooling effect compared to some of the other ones, but use a powdered sweetener. I mean, if you like the granular, crunchy taste of a granulated sweetener, go for your life. I don't. I just don't want to be crunching onto a sweetener when I'm eating this fudge that I've already made super smooth and delicious. But anyway, that's just how you quickly make that up, and I'll come back and show you how to top up the chocolates, put the chocolate topping on the fudge and finish the recipe up. Alrighty, so welcome back. I have now just got half a batch of white chocolate and a little bit of the coconut butter in the thermi just melted, and it's just done. And that's going to be our top layer for today. You can do just straight chocolate if you wish. That's totally up to you. But I have added in a little bit of coconut butter. It just makes it go a bit further. Again, you can do that with coconut oil or butter. Now, if you're using coconut oil, don't use like the liquid MCT oil because it doesn't set hard. If you want something to set harder, use something that is hard. If you use the butter, it will be slightly softer. It'll be great straight from the fridge, but it's a little bit softer left at room temperature. But the coconut butter will set quite firm. So I don't want to pour that into there. That's my little sprinkles. I've got another little jug here. So you can see this is just some white chocolate. Now I've tested this with Justine's white chocolate, the white chocolate chips, which are made with erythritol. This one right here is done with Vitaworks, which is a xylitol chocolate. So if you've got dogs, be very, very careful. I obviously have Stormy. We don't drop anything. If we do, she gets kicked out. In the way I only once dropped some ice cream on the floor while it was still liquid, which wasn't really good. and then had to, you know, do a full scrub and clean a couple of times over before she could come back in. So, yeah, but if I had kids, I wouldn't use it. And mind you, there is many things that are toxic to dogs, so we've always got to be vigilant and careful with what goes on the floor and within their reach. Okay, so the rest is for somebody to lick out of the bowl. We've got our white chocolate here. All I'm going to do is, I'm just going to pop that over there because I probably have to scrape out the last bit. I also added in the tiniest pinch of the gingerbread spice to this chocolate too. I haven't even tasted it. It's nice. It's just got the littlest hint of gingerbread in there. So I'm just going to pour like a thin layer. So my chocolate fudge here has been in the fridge. I'm just going to pour a thin layer onto some. Now, as I said, you can be really fussy or you can just give it a jiggle. Just depends on what you're using. If you've got a metal tray, jiggling is easier than a silicone one. I love the silicone trays, but sometimes. So this is purely optional. This was just something that I wanted to do just for a little contrast thing for the pictures, not necessarily to eat, but they looked really cute. And I've had a few inquiries as to what I did. In the book I did have something where, you know, I said like, you know, you can use whatever extras you want to do. If you want to put nuts or something like that on top or sprinkles on top, you can do all of that sort of thing. And this was just a little bit of an extra. It's extra carbs, of course. But, you know, even in this amount there is I think it's 9 carbs for the entire 100 grams of this chocolate. So anyway, just adding that last bit now. Give that a jiggle. Now, while I was at it, I got out some of the colour mill. So this is what I've used on the top of the ones in the book. And all I do is, I've given that a good shake, is I'll just do a couple, because I'll probably do a boo-boo. I just do a drop. Oh, I got 2. Well, let's do a couple of drops on some. You got to be careful because, you know, with these things, you know, you're trying to do 1 drop and then all of a sudden it'll squirt and you'll end up with 4 ton. Okay, don't need it on all of it. It was only just something extra for a little Christmas decoration. So all I'm doing now is I'm just going to get a little skewer and, you know, you can... Oh, that one looks really cute. It's like a little heart racing away. I'm going to have to bring the camera over here after I'm done. But what I'll do is I'll the beauty of doing the video ahead of time is we can actually show you what comes out of this. So you can see, like, I'm just swirling. So I guess this is a really good demo. Actually, I'll grab the camera and I'll show you the last 2 with it over the head. Let me get that sorted. Alrighty, so I have changed the position of the camera so you can see a little bit better. Just cleaning up my workstation a little bit. And let's get the skewer that I was using. It's here. Oh man, I'm good. And as I said, all I'm doing is I'm just dragging through the little dots that I did. So you can do like whatever shape you want. And I'll just show you 3 more drops. We've got 3 more holes to do. So let's hope that, oh, see, that's what I said. Under pressure. Oh, you only want to do a little drop. You could use those little eyedroppers that I was saying you wanted to do. So to get the heart, of course, that was just dragging through the circle. See? But you can do something else if you want. is completely up to you. So if I want to, whee. Okay, we're done. So that is how to decorate the chocolates if you want. You've got extra bits that you can eat as the cook later. I'm going to move these into the fridge now, and I will just show you one that I quickly frozen. So here is just one that I've just popped into the freezer. So it's actually pretty hard considering I'd only just popped it into the freezer pre this video, the second part of it anyway. So you can see I've got a little bit of that like gingerbread spice in there, and I can just roll it, or you could do this like with a sieve. As I said, I'm not fussy, not fancy. And just turn this over because it's probably better on a plate, but I've stuck it in a bowl to go into my fridge. But yeah, that is just like how I rolled it in the powdered sugar for serving in that as well too. And I'll just grab a board. If you're only joining in now, we are cooking from MADXM. This is our index. This is a gorgeous looking ebook that I have printed, but this is all of the recipes that are in this ebook that is available now for Christmas, and I've created recipes that I believe you would love on your Christmas table this year. So it starts with our nibbles, very much influenced by my 70s upbringing. A couple of nice cocktails that you can do completely virgin as well. Those of you who don't know, we here gave up drinking a couple of years ago. So, you know, for us it would be virgins. And then we've got some nice little sides and starters. The fully loaded mashed casserole is to die for. That is a great one. The Parmesan au gratin, you can do that with rainbow vegetables. So you could do potatoes in a row. You could do a row of beets, a row of radishes, a row of parsnips, a row of turnips, you know, a row of sweet potato, a row of pumpkin, and use the same spinach and that underneath and the cheese sauce on the top, and you'll actually have like a au gratin that will serve for everybody. This lemon aioli is a must make. That burrata salad, please sauce some burrata. That is like to die for. Amazing cocktail prawns. The main event, every one of these recipes is like $1 million in my opinion. There is some amazing sweets, of course, like the one that we're making right now, the Mad Chocolate Gingerbread Fudge. Lucy's Blonde Bombshell's a nice one that you can make well ahead of time. The Mosaic Lemon Cheesecake, something that's great for entertaining. And we've got some sauces and the bonuses for the happy ending platters. And you can see there's just some lovely recipes in this book. There's the recipe on the right, on the left, sorry, that you can't see at the moment. So yeah, even this White Russian, you can make that without the alcohol. It's very, very simple. Champagne cocktail can be made with soda water or any kombucha, and that's written in there as well. There's little skewers and stuff, like charcuterie skewers, the grilled asparagus for the lemon aioli that I just talked about, the mashed casserole, the au gratin, prawn cocktails, turkey. We have turkey, porchetta, which is very simple, and I've got all it, how easy it is in the notes there for you. The chateaubriand, easy way to cook beef fillet. You can use a budget fillet with this, and I've given you great tips on how to get a really nice crusty crust and get that beautiful tender meat on the inside. This Italian roasted chicken is like bloody-sational, okay? We've got beautiful Santa's Whiskers cookies. The coffee truffles are insane. The after dinner mince in one version. The peanut slab, always a favourite with everyone. There's gingerbread that we're making right now, and you can see my little swirly one there. The sticky ginger pudding, which can be done as a whole pudding and as individual puddings. I'm not kidding. This pudding is really, really good. It's really good. It's taken me a lot of years to get a good pudding. I think it's one of the best ones that I've ever made by a long shot. The mosaic cheesecake, as I said, also known as stained glass cheesecake. The blueberry and almond cake, which is a ricotta cake. It is to die for. The Lucy's Blonde Bombshell. The lemon sorbet. I've even got in the freezer right now some blood orange sorbet, which is amazing. The Ultimate Dip and Spread board said this can be made with spreadable cheeses or even goat's cheese, which is spreadable, of course, and even butter. We have our happy ending platters that go into baked bries, the brie cakes, and we've got sauces, our peppermint patties in another way. And this is just our lovely little book for good food with good friends and have great times. So let's have a look and see if our fudge is already in the fridge, but I was going to just chop this one for you and show you what it's like inside. Let's go opposite split in that board. So you can see this one's been in the freezer, but it's beautifully set. And it's not like a ganache, it's not like a chocolate, it's just a delicious fudge, and you can really see how smooth that is inside. But anyway, I'll get the other ones and you can have a quick look, and hopefully they'll be ready right now. Alrighty, so they've been in the freezer. As you can see, I squished them in and they've come out all ripply. Don't do this if you're doing them for Christmas. But I just wanted to show you like how easy it is to get one out of the silicone, right? So you can see they're really simple. And as I said, this is firm, but it's melt in your mouth. You can see that that's nice and soft. Melt in your mouth, delicious, gorgeous fudge.